Have you ever stood at the edge of a choice, knowing one step could rewrite your fate or drown you in regret? Not the fleeting doubts of daily life, but the kind that claw at your soul, whispering, what if you could start again? Tsuyokute New Saga Episode 2, The Blade of Regret, aired on July 12, 2025, on Crunchyroll, and it's a storm that rages through the heart, daring you to face the ghosts of your own past. Picture a twilight-soaked battlefield, the air thick with the iron tang of blood, the ground trembling under the weight of unspoken promises. Can you hear it? The clatter of steel, the hush of a world holding its breath? For fans of epic fantasies like Berserk or Re-Zero, this episode is a siren's call, a labyrinth of redemption and ruin that beckons you to lose yourself within its depths. Remember those nights when Final Fantasy's tales of sacrifice burned in your chest? This is that fire rekindled, and it demands your surrender. Do you recall the thrill of Legend of the Galactic Heroes, when every decision reshaped empires, or the ache of Chrono Trigger, where every choice echoed across time? Those stories that wove courage and loss into your very bones, that made you dream of heroes who dared to defy fate? Tsuyokute New Saga Episode 2 isn't just a nod to those classics. It's their heir, a saga that resurrects the pulse-pounding wonder of epic RPGs and anime epics. For those who've walked the paths of Midgar or wept for Guts' endless struggle, this is your homecoming, a return to the raw, mythic magic that shaped your soul. Isn't there a part of you that yearns to chase that legend again? In the scarred realm of Algast, where God's whims birth heroes and monsters alike, a second chance at life is both curse and salvation. Episode 2, released July 12, 2025, thrusts us into this fractured world, where Kaido Ishikawa, a warrior reborn after a cataclysmic defeat, carries the weight of a future he failed to save. His eyes, etched with grief, burn with a resolve that feels like a blade pressed to your own heart. Saran, Aoyuki, his childhood friend and a mage of quiet ferocity, hides a wound deeper than her spells can heal, her voice trembling with unspoken loyalty. Lisa, Saori Hayami, a spirited archer, dances through danger with a grin, yet her laughter masks a fear of being left behind. Their designs, Kyle's battle-worn armor, Saran's flowing robes, Lisa's lithe agility, mirror their souls, while their voice acting, raw and piercing, makes every word a confession. Have you ever known someone whose strength was their shield against despair? Kyle, Saran, and Lisa are such souls, their dreams and dilemmas a mirror to your own, urging you to walk beside them through Algast's shadows. What does it mean to rewrite your past when every correction risks a new tragedy? Episode 2 burrows into this question, as Kyle grapples with his second chance, each choice a thread in a tapestry of fate he can't fully see. Saran's quiet, I trust you, always carries the weight of a vow she might not survive, echoing the loyalty of Samwise Gamgee in Lord of the Rings. Lisa's reckless bravado hides a fear of obsolescence, a universal ache. What if you're not enough? Have you ever wondered if redemption is a gift or a trap, luring you into repeating the same mistakes? This episode doesn't offer solace. It lays bare the cost of second chances, the fragility of trust, and the haunting truth that even heroes can't outrun their regrets. It's a blade that cuts deep, leaving you to question your own resolve. JC Staff weaves a visual epic, with Algast's war-torn plains painted in bruised purples and smoldering golds, like a world bleeding under a dying star. The animation is a masterclass in motion and mood. Kyle's sword clashes spark with visceral fury, each strike a cry of defiance. A low-angle shot of Saran casting a spell, her silhouette framed against a crimson sky, feels like Michelangelo's creation of Adam, power, and vulnerability in perfect tension. Shadows cling to faces like unspoken secrets, while light spills through shattered ruins, hinting at hope just out of reach. The color palette, gritty yet vibrant, mirrors the narrative's raw edge, as if you could taste the dust of battle. Have you ever seen a sunset so fierce it felt like a warning? That's the artistry here, a canvas of conflict that makes you feel every scar on Algast's soul. Some murmur that Tsuyokute New Saga leans too heavily on fantasy tropes, that its time loop premise is a tired echo of Stein's Gate, that its pacing stumbles under the weight of world building. They claim the character designs are generic, the battles mere flash over substance, the dialogue a patchwork of cliches. Yet, Episode 2 turns these whispers to dust. The tropes are reborn as archetypes, timeless and searing. The time loop is a crucible, not a gimmick, forging Kyle's soul anew. The pacing isn't slow, it's deliberate, letting each moment breathe with purpose. The designs aren't generic, they're iconic, etched with emotional truth. The battles aren't flash, they're symphonies of survival. The dialogue isn't cliched, it's primal, resonating like a warrior's oath. The flame always ends up going out. Some think icons are outdated, yet this saga is a revolution, proving the flame burns brighter than ever. Hiroyuki Sawano's score is a living force, a tempest of soaring strings and pounding drums that that feels like your own heartbeat in a storm. A haunting piano motif during Saran's quiet moment wraps around your heart like a memory you can't place, while the battle themes crescendo hits like Gladiator's arena roars. The silence before Kyle's strike is deafening, a vacuum that amplifies the clang of steel and the gasp of breath. Sound design, crumbling stone, whistling arrows, the crackle of magic, grounds you in Algast, as if you could smell the smoke. Can you recall a song that felt like a battle cry and a lament at once? That's the auditory sorcery here, a melody that binds you to every triumph and tear without spoiling. A single moment shatters the fragile balance, a confrontation where truths are bared like open wounds, where the past and present collide with the force of a falling star. It's not just a scene, it's a crucible, forging new paths while burning old ones to ash. Picture standing at a crossroads, knowing one choice will haunt you forever. Have you ever faced such a reckoning? The tension coils like a serpent, leaving you desperate to see who will rise and who will fall. Kyle, Saran, and Lisa are not mere characters. They're tapestries of light and shadow, each thread a story of loss and defiance woven around the episode's theme of regret. Kyle, a warrior reborn, carries a guilt that makes you want to ease his burden, his resolve a flame you long to shield, yet his doubts invite you to question your own courage. Saran, a mage of quiet strength, is a lighthouse in the storm, her loyalty a treasure you yearn to protect, yet her hidden pain feels like a secret you'll never fully grasp. Lisa, a spark of defiance, dances through danger with a grin, her bravado a mask you ache to lift, her fear a mirror to your own. Together, they orchestrate a symphony of redemption, their interplay a dance of trust and sacrifice that resonates with the question, can you rewrite your regrets without breaking your heart? They are art you'll never hold, yet you'll burn to behold. Not every tale asks to be watched. Some demand to be lived, to sear their truths into your marrow, to become a part of your own unfolding saga. Tsuyokute New Saga Episode 2 is such a tale, a crucible of regret and redemption that might just redefine how you face your own past. Are you ready to step into Algast's twilight, to wield the blade of regret and discover the truths that await? Click watch now and let the saga claim you. Have you ever lain awake, staring into the void of your own heart, wondering if your promises could outlast the stars? Not the fleeting vows of every day, but the kind that bind your soul to a cause, a person, a dream, knowing they might shatter you? Tsuyokute New Saga Episode 3, The Oath Beneath the Stars, aired on July 19, 2025, on Crunchyroll, and it's a tempest that sweeps you into a world where every word sworn is a blade drawn against fate. Imagine a night sky ablaze with constellations, the air heavy with the scent of pine and steel, the silence pierced by a vow that echoes like a war drum. Can you feel it? The chill of resolve, the weight of a promise you can't unmake? For fans of sweeping fantasies like Fate/Stay Night or The Legend of Zelda, this episode is a clarion call, a tapestry of loyalty and loss that will haunt you until you answer its summons. Do you remember the pulse of Tales of Symphonia, when every choice reshaped destinies? Or the ache of Escaflowne, where love and duty clashed like swords? Those sagas that stirred your blood, that made you believe in heroes who defied gods and time itself? Tsuyokute New Saga Episode 3 isn't just a tribute, it's their rebirth, a saga that recaptures the mythic fire of those golden anime and RPG eras. For those who've scaled Hyrule's peaks or mourned Shiro's sacrifices, this is your return to glory, a chance to relive the thrill of a story that burns eternal. Isn't there a spark in you that craves that epic rush once more? In Algast's scarred embrace, where ancient gods whisper through crumbling stone and war's shadow lingers like a bruise, a second life is both a gift and a curse. Episode 3, released July 19, 2025, pulls us deeper into this fractured realm, where Kaito Ishikawa, a warrior reborn from a doomed future, bears scars that bleed memory, his gaze heavy with a guilt only the stars can witness. Saran, Aoi Yuki, his mage companion, is a flame cloaked in frost, her quiet strength masking a heart fractured by unspoken fears, her voice a trembling hymn of devotion. Lisa, Saori Hayami, the archer with a rogue's grin, dances on the edge of danger, her laughter a fragile shield against the dread of being forgotten. Their designs, Kyle's battered armor etched with battles lost, Saran's robes shimmering like moonlight, Lisa's quiver taut with defiance, breathe their essence, while their voices, raw and resonant, weave a spell of intimacy, as if they're confessing to you by a dying fire. Have you ever known someone whose silence spoke louder than their courage? Kyle, Saran, and Lisa are your companions now, their dreams and dilemmas a mirror to your own, urging you to stand with them beneath Algast's endless sky. What does it mean to swear an oath when the stars themselves seem to conspire conspire against you. Episode 3 delves into this crucible, where Kyle's vow to rewrite his past is a chain forged in hope and dread, each step a dance with the abyss. Saran's soft, "we'll protect each other," carries the weight of a promise she fears she'll break, echoing the tragic fidelity of Troy's Hector, bound to a doomed cause. Lisa's bravado, her reckless, "I'm not scared of anything," betrays a soul desperate to matter, a universal cry. What if my mark fades? Have you ever sworn to stand by someone, knowing the cost might consume you? This episode doesn't offer absolution. It bears the raw nerve of loyalty, the torment of trust, and the chilling truth. An oath can save a world or shatter it. It's a question that lingers like smoke, daring you to face its weight in your own heart. Kyle, Saran, and Lisa are not mere heroes. They're constellations of light and shadow, each a star in Algast's epic firmament, their journeys orbiting the theme of loyalty. Kyle, a warrior reborn, is a lighthouse in the storm, his resolve a flame you long to shield, yet his guilt invites you to question your own burdens, like a statue carved from sorrow. Saran, a mage of quiet fire, is a melody of devotion, her strength a treasure you yearn to guard, yet her hidden fears are a riddle you'll never fully solve. Lisa, a spark of defiance, weaves laughter through danger, her courage a mask you ache to lift, her vulnerability a mirror to your own. Together, they compose a symphony of trust and sacrifice, their interplay a celestial dance that asks, can loyalty endure when fate demands betrayal? They are art you'll never grasp, yet you'll burn to behold. JC. Staff crafts a visual odyssey, with Algast's starlit forests and jagged cliffs painted in deep indigos and molten ambers, like a world caught between dream and nightmare. The animation is a ballet of precision. Kyle's swordplay surges with primal fury, each clash a pulse of defiance. A Dutch tilt shot of Saran weaving a spell, her silhouette framed against a swirling cosmos, feels like Klimt's The Kiss, passion and peril entwined. Shadows drape faces like veils of doubt, while starlight pierces the gloom, a fragile promise of dawn. The palette, gritty yet luminous, tastes of earth and ether, as if you could feel the forest's damp chill. Have you ever seen a night so radiant it felt like a warning? That's the artistry here, a canvas of conflict that makes you breathe Algast's air. Some whisper that Tsuyokute New Saga treads familiar ground, that its reborn hero trope echoes Re-Zero too closely, that its pacing lingers too long on introspection. They claim the battles lack innovation, the character arcs predictable, the world building a mosaic of cliches. Yet, episode 3 shatters these doubts. The tropes are archetypes, timeless and searing. The pacing isn't slow but deliberate, letting each oath resonate like a bell. The battles aren't rote, they're primal, pulsing with raw emotion. The arcs aren't predictable, they're inevitable, like fate itself. The world isn't cliched, it's mythic, a realm alive with purpose. The flame always ends up going out. Some think icons are outdated, yet this saga is a revolution, proving the flame burns eternal. Hiroyuki Sawano's score is a living pulse, a torrent of swelling violins and thunderous percussion that feels like a storm in your veins. A soft flute during Lisa's quiet moment wraps around you like a memory half forgotten, while the battle themes roar hits like Mad Max's Desert Chase, relentless and raw. The silence before Kyle's oath is a void, amplifying the rustle of leaves, the crackle of a fire, the heartbeat of a world watching. Sound design, whistling wind, clanging steel, the hum of magic, grounds you in Algast, as if you could taste the night's bite. Can you recall a melody that felt like both a vow and a wound? That's the auditory alchemy here, a song that binds you to every star and scar, without unveiling its heart. A single moment ignites the narrative, a vow sworn under a sky that seems to judge, where destinies collide like comets, leaving trails of fire and ash. It's not just a scene, it's a reckoning, a moment where the past and future wrestle for supremacy. Picture kneeling before a truth so fierce it could unmake you. Have you ever faced such a crucible? The tension coils like a noose, leaving you desperate to see who will stand and who will crumble. Not every story begs to be seen. Some demand to be felt, to etch their truths into your bones, to weave themselves into your own unfolding tale. Tsuyokute New Saga Episode 3 is such a story, a crucible of loyalty and loss that might just redefine how you face your own promises. Are you ready to stand beneath Algast's stars, to swear your own oath, and uncover the truths that burn within? Click watch now, and let the saga consume you. Have you ever stood at the precipice of a new day, heart pounding, knowing the light could either save you or burn you to ash? Not the fleeting dawn of routine, but the kind that demands you face the truths you've buried, the kind that whispers, "What if your strength is your undoing?" Tsuyokute New Saga Episode 4, The Weight of Dawn, aired on July 26, 2025, on Crunchyroll, and it's a blade that slices through the soul, pulling you into a world where every sunrise is a challenge to survive. Picture a horizon ablaze with molten gold, the air sharp with the scent of steel and sorrow, the silence heavy with the pulse of unspoken fears. Can you taste it? The bitter hope of a new beginning, the sting of a wound not yet healed? For fans of epic fantasies like Hunter x Hunter or Xenoblade Chronicles, this episode is a siren's wail, a labyrinth of courage and consequence that dares you to step into its light. Do you recall the fire of Fullmetal Alchemist, when every sacrifice carved a hero's heart, or the thrill of Dragon Quest, where every dawn brought a new battle for hope? Those tales that wove your dreams with threads of valor and loss, that made you believe in warriors who could defy the heavens? Tsuyokute New Saga Episode 4 isn't just their echo, it's their resurrection, a saga that reignites the mythic pulse of those legendary anime and RPGs. For those who fought alongside Cloud in Midgar or wept for Gon's resolve, this is your summons, a return to the raw, untamed magic that shaped your soul. Don't you ache to feel that fire again? In Algast's fractured realm, where ancient gods cast long shadows over blood-soaked plains, every dawn is a gamble between salvation and ruin. Episode 4, released July 26, 2025, plunges us into this scarred world, where Kaito Ishikawa, a warrior reborn from a shattered future, carries a burden heavier than his blade, his eyes haunted by visions of a world he couldn't save. Saran, Aoyuki, his mage companion, is a star cloaked in twilight, her gentle resolve masking a heart frayed by doubt, her voice a trembling prayer that cuts like a knife. Lisa, Saori Hayami, the archer with a rogue smirk, dances through peril with a defiance that hides her fear of fading into shadow, her laughter a fragile shield. Their designs, Kyle's armor scarred like his soul, Saran's robes flowing like a river of light, Lisa's quiver taut with restless energy, breathe their essence, while their voice acting, raw and resonant, feels like a confession whispered in the dark. Have you ever known someone whose courage was a mask for their scars? Kyle, Saran, and Lisa are your kin now, their dilemma's a mirror to your own, urging you to walk with them through Algast's dawn. What does it mean to rise when every step risks crushing those you love? Episode 4 burrows into this crucible, as Kyle's reborn strength becomes a double-edged sword, each swing a question. Can you save a world without losing yourself? Saran's quiet, I'll follow you, no matter what, echoes the tragic devotion of Titanic's Rose, a vow that binds her to a breaking point. Lisa's reckless charge, her defiant, I'm not afraid, betrays a soul desperate to prove her worth, a universal ache. What if my light dims? Have you ever carried a hope so heavy it threatened to break you? This episode offers no comfort. It lays bare the cost of resilience, the fragility of faith, and the chilling truth that dawn's light can reveal wounds too deep to heal. It's a question that lingers like ash on the wind, daring you to face your own strength's price. Kyle, Saran, and Lisa are not mere heroes. They're tapestries of fire and shadow, each a thread in Algast's epic weave, their journeys entwined around the theme of resilience. Kyle, a reborn warrior, is a beacon in the storm, his strength a flame you long to shield, yet his guilt invites you to question your own burdens, like a monument carved from pain. Saran, a mage of quiet grace, is a melody of faith, her resolve a treasure you yearn to protect, yet her hidden doubts are a riddle you'll never fully unravel. Lisa, a spark of rebellion, weaves defiance through danger, her courage a mask you ache to lift, her vulnerability a mirror to your own. Together, they compose a symphony of endurance and sacrifice, their interplay a dance that asks, can resilience outshine despair? They are art you'll never hold, yet you'll burn to witness. JC. Staff crafts a visual requiem, with Algast's dawn-drenched valleys painted in fiery golds and bruised purples, like a world caught between salvation and ruin. The animation is a masterstroke. Kyle's swordplay surges with raw power, each strike a cry against fate. A low-angle shot of Saran, her silhouette glowing against a blazing horizon, feels like Rembrandt's The Night Watch, light and shadow warring for her soul. Shadows cling to faces like unspoken regrets, while dawn's rays pierce the gloom, a fragile vow of hope. The palette, vibrant yet gritty, tastes of blood and sunlight, as if you could feel the earth's pulse. Have you ever seen a dawn so fierce it felt like a challenge? That's the artistry here, a canvas of conflict that makes you breathe Algast's air. Some murmur that Tsuyokute New Saga leans too heavily on fantasy archetypes, that its reborn hero trope mirrors Re-Zero too closely, that its pacing falters under emotional weight. They claim the battles are formulaic, the character arcs predictable, the world a patchwork of familiar tropes. Yet, episode 4 shatters these shadows. The archetypes are eternal, pulsing with primal truth. The pacing isn't heavy but deliberate, letting each moment sear your soul. The battles aren't formulaic, they're visceral, alive with passion. tension. The arcs aren't predictable, they're fated, like a hero's oath. The world isn't familiar, it's mythic, a realm reborn in fire. The flame always ends up going out, some think icons are outdated, yet this saga is a revolution, proving the flame burns eternal. Hiroyuki Sawano's score is a living storm, a torrent of soaring strings and pounding drums that feels like your own heart racing against dawn. A haunting violin during Saran's quiet moment wraps around you like a memory you can't place, while the battle themes crescendo hits like Gladiator's arena roar, relentless and raw. The silence before Kyle's charge is a void, amplifying the crunch of earth, the whistle of arrows, the hum of magic, as if you could smell the dawn's sharp bite. Can you recall a melody that felt like both a vow and a wound? That's the auditory sorcery here, a symphony that binds you to every scar and sunrise. Without unveiling its core, a single moment ignites the narrative, a confrontation where destinies collide like stars, shattering illusions and forging new truths. It's not just a scene, it's a crucible, where the dawn reveals what cannot be undone. Picture standing before a truth so raw it could unmake you. Have you ever faced such a reckoning? The tension coils like a serpent, leaving you desperate to see who will rise and who will fall. Not every tale begs to be seen. Some demand to be felt, to etch their truths into your marrow, to weave themselves into your own unfolding saga. Tsuyokute New Saga Episode 4 is such a tale, a crucible of resilience and ruin that might just redefine how you face your own dawn. Are you ready to step into Algast's light, to bear the weight of dawn, and uncover the truths that burn within? Click watch now, and let the saga consume you.